And with that, I would like to introduce the New Mexico Highlands Faculty Association chair, I believe. Please correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Jenkins, but I would like to introduce you to Dr. Kathy Jenkins.
Hello, everybody, and good morning. Welcome to New Mexico Highlands University. I'm actually the president of the,
sorry.
Structure for faculty, and I'll spend some minutes this morning explaining how everything all works together in terms of faculty governance at our institution. Normally, we meet face-to-face in a nice auditorium. We get to share, we get to talk. I think, well, let me say, I'm in my 25th year at New Mexico Highlands University. I am a professor of exercise physiology in the Department of Exercise and Sports Sciences. It's incredible to start a new year, and it's always my favorite time, but this year is bizarre to me. Meeting people in the Brady Bunch squares, right? Where it's just like so bizarre and everybody's in a different square, and as you talk, then you move squares. It's just such a bizarre way to meet people. But I do want to say welcome. I'm excited. As you heard from Dr. Gonzalez, our enrollment is increasing. We're doing very well. And that's because of the strength of our faculty and our academic programs. Today, what I'm going to do is share a PowerPoint with you. I'm going to try to go through it rather quickly. You're welcome to email me if you'd like a copy of it. But what I thought when I was asked to do this was, what kind of information would new faculty like to have? Now, I should tell you before I start that the faculty that our union, also known as the association, represents are the tenured and tenure track faculty. At this point, we do not represent term or retained term faculty or adjuncts. We are working on that though. And so I do want to tell you the information I'm sharing with you today is specifically for the tenure and tenure track. So with that, let me share my screen and find my presentation. Well, that's no good. I apologize for that. I obviously closed it after I reviewed it today. So let me put it up there. Can you all see it? Excellent. So who are we? The New Mexico Highlands University Faculty and Staff Association is our union here at Highlands. We are affiliated with two different unions nationally, both with the American Federation of Teachers and the National Education Association. We represent over 4 million members nationwide, and those educators are in the K-12 system through higher education. They include faculty, they include staff, and administrators. So they are actually two of the most powerful unions in the United States, and we're just delighted to work with them. We get a lot of input from our national organizations as well as our state affiliates with both of these unions as well. And overall, what we try to do is work with our administration and our unions on improving, obviously, the working conditions and terms and conditions of employment for faculty as well as staff here at New Mexico Highlands University. Currently, we have 3 bargaining units, and each bargaining unit is its own entity. So we have a tenured and tenure track faculty bargaining unit that I'm here to talk to you about today. We have a professional staff bargaining unit, and we also have a bargaining unit for our clerical and facility staff. We are currently working on a contingent faculty bargaining unit, and you'll be hearing more about that as our work continues into this academic year. Every bargaining unit has the ability exclusively to bargain the terms and conditions of their employment, and all either have their own collective bargaining agreement or are negotiating their first one right now. So we're definitely in some exciting times. The faculty itself has the oldest bargaining unit. We, in October, will be celebrating 22 years of being a union. And we have our 6th collective bargaining agreement that we're in right now, and it runs through 2024. And again, just to remind you, it covers only the terms and conditions of employment for the tenured and tenure track faculty. We are very proud of our union here at Highlands. Majority of faculty do belong to the union, and I'll talk to you about, you don't have to join if you don't want to. I'll talk to you about that in a few minutes, but we'd love to have you. What have we done? What are our success stories? Well, in our first years of having a collective bargaining agreement, we raised the salaries here by over 10%. It was an average of 10%. Some people received a 25% increase because they were that far behind. Others received just a small increase. But overall, if you look at the last 16 years of faculty salaries here at Highlands, our salaries have risen at a greater percentage than any other New Mexico institution. And it's because we're unionized. Last year, our faculty received a 4% raise. Other institutions received anywhere from 0 to 2.5%. So again, something we're very, very proud about. And currently, we are still in negotiations for this year's salary. So the one that started today. And so we are still negotiating that in collective bargaining. And we'll make announcements when we're out of collective bargaining on that. But one thing you should be very excited about is that we did negotiate for everybody in the bargaining unit $1,500 to be paid at the start of the school year. You should be receiving either today or tomorrow a $1,500 deposit into your bank account. That is to help you cover expenses related to COVID, the work that you might have had to do this summer. Even though you're new, you still had to work to convert your courses into online or to maybe a different format that you weren't used to. If you're teaching face-to-face, because we do have a few labs and a few studio classes that are face-to-face, you're having to think about new procedures under COVID to keep your students safe and to keep you safe. And so that $1,500 will help everybody hopefully start the school year and give you the resources that you need. So we're very excited about that. And again, it's the union that was able to negotiate that for the faculty. Do you have to join the union? And as I shared with you, the answer is no. We'd love it if you did. We represent all faculty in the bargaining unit. And so we are the sole and exclusive bargaining agent for all faculty. So we have union members and non-union members in the tenured and tenure track faculty. The majority of faculty, as I shared with you, are members. What happens when you join the union? You have more of a voice in negotiations. We have union meetings where everybody is welcome, but union members get to vote on the issues that come forward. We have advocates for people from both AFT and NEA in case there are issues that come forward that are more serious. We have attorneys for union members for serious worksite issues, etc. And non-union members don't have those protections, but they do have protections because they are still protected by the union itself. So we represent all faculty, regardless if you're a union member or not. So sometimes it's a little confusing to say, well, wow, they have a faculty senate and a faculty association. So how do we work both of those together? So the next couple slides I have are about governance at Highlands. So our faculty collective bargaining agreement, you can find it under faculty resources on the NMHU website, and those are located under our faculty senate. Our faculty senate and association work hand in hand. In fact, we're mostly the same people. And so we work together on all aspects of faculty life. We encourage every single person to read the faculty CBA because there's really good information in there. And as I shared with you, I'll be going through some of the things that affect new faculty, especially today, because we want you to be prepared for the upcoming year. If you have any questions, please email me. Again, my name is Kathy Jenkins. It's kjenkins@nmhu.edu. If you don't remember that, you can ask anybody and they should be able to find me. So governance, as I shared with you, we have two bodies. We have a faculty senate who's responsible for governance. Their ruling document is called the Faculty Handbook, and the Faculty Handbook lists academic issues. It has searches, roles of faculty. We have various governance committees that are underneath our Faculty Senate. Department chair responsibilities are listed there. And then so is the professional code of ethics that we expect all faculty, be you in tenure track positions or contingent. And then our association, which I represent, is responsible for negotiating terms and conditions of our employment. So our salary, our evaluation system, which includes tenure and promotion, annual evaluation, our reappointments, grievances, our mentorship, the fact that every single one of you got a new computer and you had a choice about that, and various workload issues related to what we do here in our faculty life. So those two documents, the Faculty Handbook and the CBA, work together. The ruling document is our CBA. Whatever is not covered in the CBA, but is covered in the Faculty Handbook, is a rule as well. And both of these documents together govern all of the life that we have here as faculty members at Highlands. One thing that we're very proud of is we have a very strong mentorship system. Our mentorship system is designed to help retain and develop all faculty, and it's critical, obviously, for the health of the institution and the quality of all of our academic programs. We know that starting a new position sometimes is confusing because you don't know what the expectations are. And so what we do for new faculty is we have department chairs, and I'll show you on the next slide, work with you in selecting a mentoring team. And the whole purpose is to help you, again, transition into faculty life at New Mexico Highlands University. So the mentoring is meant to give you information about Highlands, information about your department, the structure, how it works, what the expectations are, and of course, information about the school or college that you find yourself in. We need you to understand what the expectations of teaching, service, scholarship, and research are, because they are slightly different for, in every department. So who is your mentor? Article 22 of our CBA covers mentors and how they're selected. In your first semester, your department chair is going to assign you a mentor or a mentoring team. What they're going to do is they're going to meet you and say, you know, I think you're going to do really well paired with this person or this group of people. After your first semester, when you know more people here at Highlands, you can either keep that mentor or mentoring team, or you can select your own. And if you want to change mentors, it's absolutely fine. All you need to do is just notify your department chair. In the first semester, we really do want you to ask questions of your mentor. We hope that you learn about the university and the culture. Again, that you learn about the expectations of tenure and promotion here, as well as the triad itself. Every department is slightly different in their expectations, as I mentioned before. And every department has their own criteria for research and scholarship and creative activities. And so make sure you talk with your mentor in your first semester and get the piece of paper that represents research, scholarship, and creative activities so you know what you're working towards in that part of the triad, in that expectation that you have. We also have information on universities, policies, and procedures that you want to cover with your mentor. If you have questions, that's the main person you can go to. It's your advocate, your mentor. And talk to them about the CBA, talk to them about the faculty handbook. But always remember, you can reach out to any of us. You don't have to just talk with your mentor. You can reach out to me at any time. You can reach out to Arit Tamir, the chair of our faculty senate, at any time as well. This is, as I shared with you, also a very bizarre semester because of COVID. And so we find ourselves mostly online this semester. Normally, we're mostly face-to-face. And so we would be all in the same room talking, sharing information, etc. And so because of that, we have bargained through collective bargaining process a set of rules specific to this pandemic, because our CBA wasn't really meant to work in a pandemic. And so the big thing to think about in your head is most of the work we're going to be doing this semester is going to be online. And so specifically some things that you should know. All of our office hours are online using Zoom or some other distance technology. We're not allowed to have students in our office. Even if you happen to be on campus, you can't have a student in your office. You have to do your office hours online. Next, most courses are being taught via distance. Only those courses that were pedagogically determined to be needed to be face-to-face, and only in conditions where there are COVID safety protocols in place that are possible, can those courses be taught face-to-face. And so again, we find ourselves mostly online. in a variety of formats. We might be asynchronous, synchronous, hybrid. Some people use Zoom, some people use chat. And there's a lot of variety that faculty have the ability to use. But we are, again, mostly on distance. Our service work that we'll be doing as part of the triad is going to be doing Zoom. So any committee that you might find yourself on, any department chair meeting, any college meeting, those are all going to be Zoom or using some sort of distance technology this semester. Scholarship and research is the same. It should be done using distance unless you have a need to be on campus or in a lab. And then if you do, you'll have to notify your dean and go through the safety protocols necessary to enter our campus because it is closed because of COVID. It's not closed per se, but it's very controlled, I should say, because of COVID. If you want a complete list of the adaptations to the collective bargaining agreement that we have, you can contact me or you can contact your department chair. They should have that information for you as well. And then the last slide I have for you is just a little bit about your computer, because as new faculty, you have rights under the CBA that upon hire, you got to have a choice of your computer. You had the right to choose either a laptop or a tablet / Surface or a desktop. All of our faculty work is a little bit different. Some people prefer desktops, some people just want a tablet, and that's why we have what we have here. You also have the ability to choose a Mac or a PC. And so during the hiring process, you should have been told about those options, and you should have been able to order whichever computer from the hiring authority that you spoke with about what you wanted to do. That computer can either be picked up through arrangements with your chair, or it can be mailed to you by the university if you haven't received it already. And so we have set that up in our MOA, our Memorandum of Understanding for this semester because of COVID. And just so you know, also, our computers are replaced every 4 or 5 years. And so the choice that you made is for the next 4 or 5 years. At that point, you can get another computer. And so my last slide is I just wanted to put up my contact information for you. My office phone is there. It goes directly to my email. I'm obviously not going to be in my office like none of you will be this semester, but my contact information is there. And so we have a couple minutes left, and I just wanted to open it up in case you had any questions. Again, I'll remind you, we are a unionized faculty. It's your choice whether or not you want to join the union. We would love to have you. We love when people are very, very active. If you want a voice, if you want to be a part of the discussions going on, we encourage you to do so. But we represent you regardless if you're a union member or not. And so if you ever have any questions about the collective bargaining agreement or something that's happening in your faculty life, just simply reach out to me. I get emails every day from faculty, some good, some bad, and I try to act and correct things as quickly as I can. I believe in communication, and I think we have a good relationship set up with our administration so that we can be very, very quick at dealing with any sort of issues coming forward. So are there any questions?
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I have a quick question. Can you remind us what's the membership fee for the union?
Oh, sure. Right now, it depends on how much money you make. And so assistant professors pay less than full professors because that's set by our national unions. And so it's somewhere between $60 and $65 a month. And it gives you full benefits in both the NEA and the AFT. And so there's life insurance fees, there's lawyer-like things, and there's you get magazine discounts. Both are major unions, and so there are discounts at almost any airline that you want to take, hotel reservations, all those kinds of things. So there's a lot of benefits there as well, besides just the fact that you're a part of a union. The AFT as well is affiliated with the AFL-CIO, which is also a very, very powerful union nationwide.
Okay, thanks.
You bet.
Daniel has his hand up. Daniel?
Yeah, my question is about the laptop. If I haven't received mine, and do I direct my inquiry to IT, or is it the chair or the dean of my department that will take care of that concern?
It's a great question. What I would do is start with your chair. Our administration likes a chain of command, and so the chair can reach out to who you're supposed to notify. But we have set it up because people are not on campus where it can be mailed to you.
Okay, thanks.
You bet.
I have a question.
Yes.
Yeah, so you keep mentioning the word faculty. I'm just wondering, because I'm staff, I'll be the Director of Assessment and Accreditation. Does anything you're saying relate to that, or is admin staff?
We do. I'm not sure what your position is, but we have a professional staff unit that represents people not in clerical and facilities, and then we have our clerical facilities. And so you may be a member of our professional staff bargaining unit. And so they also have a CBA that they're actually negotiating their first CBA. And so there are rights and privileges there under the union as well. If you want to send me an email, I can find out which bargaining unit that you would be represented by.
All right.
Staff member. Anybody else? Questions may arise, especially as you go through the next couple of days saying, I just don't understand some things. So please do feel free to reach out at any time. I'm neurotic, like a lot of people, where I always have my cell phone with me. And so I get my emails pretty quickly. But like you all, I do teach. And so I'll be busy with classes once next week starts. But just want to remind you all, we still are negotiating salary for this year. And so there may or may not be some adjustments to the salary contract that you just signed. Well, I just want to thank you all for your time today. And Veronica, thank you for the opportunity to speak about our union. And we welcome you all to the university. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Jenkins. This was very informative. And like I said, this information will be on the CTE website too. So you have plenty of opportunities to get a hold of, if you have any questions with Dr. Jenkins, myself, and so on. So we've got a couple of minutes before our next round of resources. So if you want to take a couple of minutes, get off your chairs, stretch a little, step a little bit further away from the screens, please feel free to do so. At 10, we will have our library colleagues introduce you to the Donnelly Library and show you all the amazing things that they are up to. So awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Cool. Thank you again, Dr. Jenkins. All right. I'm going to stretch a little. I'm going to go get more coffee.
Yeah, it's a good time for a coffee break.
Indeed.
So we don't have to keep using new links for all these different sessions?
No. The way we set it up is hopefully all sessions will be under one link. Today, tomorrow, there's a couple exceptions to that rule, but they're in the program. All the links are in the digital program that was sent out. And if not, Kevin just dropped the visual program into the chat too, so you have it there as well.
All right.
So all the links are there.
Is Mary still around?
She might be.
I'm right here.
All right. So I have a question for you. I was looking through the flyer with all the details, and there's certain things that I'm not sure, because I'm not faculty, whether I should be attending, being new and not knowing everyone. I see you have these chair meetings for the chairs and other things, but it doesn't say anything about directors. Would that be something that I should attend or no?
Let me get my video on here because I feel funny talking to you with my name on the screen. So these are professional development days. Veronica put the schedule together. These are opportunities you can self-select into the sessions. There are certain sessions that are required for faculty and staff. So Veronica, is that an appropriate way to explain the way it's running?
Exactly. Thank you. The program also has in there like attendees, like who should attend what sessions. And we have identified, like if you're a chair, you go to the chair retreat. If you are staff or faculty, here are the ones that are also available to you. These are invitations. There are 2 mandatory sessions that happen tomorrow that are mandatory for all. That's the compliance and Title VII training, I believe at 11 tomorrow. And then also at 1, it's the registrar, so FERPA training happens tomorrow. Those are the 2 only mandatory sessions. Everything else is an invitation. Because these are professional developments based off of your directive needs. So hopefully there is descriptions of each session so you can kind of get a sense of what each session will be pertaining to. So, but if you have any other questions, you can always ask.
And Veronica, Scott is our international hire here. So he has traveled very far to join us, and we're very excited.
Well, very good.
Scott, I have to go to my next meeting, but you
No
can,
problem.
what I was going to say is I'm going to send you my cell phone number,
All
and you
right.
can text me at any time, today, tomorrow, Friday, and I'll answer any of your questions. How's
Okay,
that?
excellent. Right.
Okay, bye.
No problem. Enjoy.
Thank you.
We'll get some coffee now.
Yes. Good to have you here, Scott.
Thanks.
All right. We'll see you in a bit. All right, let's get to the next thing in our list. We will hand it over to our library colleagues. Hi, Kevin.
Hey,
I'm going to, how you doing today?
doing good.
Good, thank you so much for being here. I see April Kent is also here. Welcome back. Our next round is the library, Connolly Library, and I'll let Kevin introduce you to the awesome things that are going on. I love your background, Kevin. That's brilliant. Great advertising.
Thought I'd try to put a lot out there as quickly as I could. So.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Well, I'm not going to. I think April has put some stuff in the chat. So without any further ado, Kevin, take it away.
All right. Thank you, Veronica. Good morning, everyone. And to those of you who are new, welcome to the Highlands community. And it's nice to see some returning faces and people I've seen but haven't seen in the last 5 months or so. So it's nice to see everybody. I am Kevin Corcoran, and I'm the External Programs and Interlibrary Loan Librarian at the Thomas C. Donnelly Library. That's the main library here on the Las Vegas campus. I've already dropped into the chat a listing of the screen I'm going to share in just a minute. It's just a real simple one sheet. We'll talk about a lot of our services, take some questions, and then I'll try to maybe open it up and go live on the library webpage just to talk about navigating some basic things and see if you have any questions about that. So let me go ahead and share my screen. All right, so I'm going to keep it real simple today. I don't want to inundate you with too much information. What I do want you to take away today is if you have any information needs, please contact us at the Donnelly Library. Obviously, we're all working remotely, but any time of the year, even when we're not working remotely, hopefully in the near future, always give us a call or reach out to us in some fashion or another. And so mention here that our main page on the Highlands set of web pages is nmhu.edu/library. That'll get you there. A lot of folks now with the portal working via ITS, we have a libraries link on the portal, so you should be able to access it there as well. So our phone number, our email address, all of these things are checked regularly. We are working remotely, but we are checking those items. We have staff who are working every hour that we're open as if we were open for in-person librarianship. We have staff working the desk, checking the phones, checking that information so that we can get back to you as quickly as possible. There is our Zoom reference, so if you wanted to Zoom, again, we have a staff member on reference services every hour that we would be open, and we'll talk about those hours here as I scroll down just a little bit. So there should be somebody that you can get in contact or leave a message with. If you find any of our numbers anywhere else, you're welcome to call, and we check our phones. We want to get you the information that you need to be successful during this semester as we try to make everything as normal as possible. So let's talk about some of the services that the Donnelly offers. A lot of our big ones, things that we've been doing for a while. Certainly we're doing them all online now, but we've been doing these things for a while. So instruction, we always do instruction. If you need some instruction tailored to a particular class you're doing, we're happy to introduce students to the web page, help them with search strategies for using resources that we have on the Donnelly Library web pages. So just basic research, we're happy to do that. We also teach bibliographic citations. We provide one-on-one research assistance. We're happy to Zoom with students in person, with faculty in person. If you need a breakdown of what we can do for you, what we can offer, we're happy to do that. And we'll also give virtual library tours as well. So we feel like those are getting students, but also faculty, to those resources as early as possible, helps them make better use of those resources throughout their career at Highlands, but also just makes them better researchers. So my colleague April Kent, who's on, She is the person who does instruction, schedules instruction. So if you wanted to call her, her number is there on the screen now. These are all things that you can find on our main page, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit as well. You can also email April at ajkent@nmhu.edu. So scheduling some instruction, we're happy to talk about that with your class. Happy to do that. The remote library information desk, I just mentioned. Any of the hours that we're normally open, we have to work really hard to make sure that we have consistent hours that really match the same hours that we were working when we were in the library building proper. We match those hours, and we have people who are manning our Zoom information desk, our reference desk. So can answer things via telephone, email as well. Happy to do any of those things. So our hours, generally times that you will find a library person at the Zoom reference desk and checking those phones, Monday through Thursday, 7:30 a.m. to 10 p.m., Fridays, 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Sundays, 1 to 10 p.m. So we are not open Saturdays. We haven't been open on Saturdays for years because there just wasn't a lot of call for that. We're certainly willing to talk to folks if they feel like they need information on Saturdays as well. That's something we certainly could talk about. But these are the hours that we've kind of always worked, really, as long as I've worked at Highlands. So let's talk about reserves. If you have materials that you want to provide for students and have them on reserves, the same e-reserve procedure we've always used. You can put articles, book chapters on e-reserve. Just call the library desk at 505-426-2275 or email us. Let us know that you need to add an e-reserve. Someone will certainly get in contact with you and make that happen so that you can have things available for your students so they can find them in e-reserve from the library webpage. So that's a good resource as well. So let's talk about our collections a little bit. We have a lot of streaming video content, certainly things that you might want to go through now so that you're prepared to see what you have to offer students as the semester goes into place. We have journal article databases, so if you need them to do journal article research, we have plenty of databases to do those kinds of things. Also through the library webpage. So again, we'll see that in just a second. You're basically going to databases by subject or title, and you can search a lot of that content, obviously by either the subject that you're teaching or interested in, whether it be anthropology, psychology, or even something as esoteric as news and maybe video. If you want them to just search video, you could do those things by subject. You can also search databases by title. So if you have a particular database in mind, you can certainly search for it and direct students there as well as you need to. One thing we always like to highlight, and sometimes it's hard to get out to a lot of our community, our teaching community, if you have any recommendations for purchase or subscription, get that information to us at the library. We're happy to talk about. We're still, even though we don't have access to the stacks yet because we haven't really entered the portion of the plan that allows us to have either employee access to the building or to the stacks, we are interested in, and we still are doing purchasing. So we're purchasing materials. If you have books that you think would be important for the library collection or subscription services that you're interested in us finding out if how much that would cost and if that's feasible to the budget, we're happy to get that information from you. So right now, if you have things that you're interested in, contact us so that we can try to purchase those materials for you if we can. Another biggie, if you've published anything, the library purchases faculty publications for our archives so that we can hold them as a record for the university, but we also purchase copies to have out in the stack so that folks can check those out and have them be available for the university community. So just know that if you've published something, let us know so that we can make that part of the collection and fully integrate your scholarship into the Highlands community. So a biggie right now, interlibrary loan. I know lots of folks will always consider interlibrary loan mainly a book in hand or getting a DVD or a video from some other resource, some microfilm. And those are definitely an ILL item, and we're looking forward to maybe offering some of those hopefully in the near future as more universities and locations and other libraries begin doing in-person ILL where they're actually moving tangible items, books, and the like. So, but not yet. But what ILL is able to do, and what we've been doing really since the pandemic started, is we're able to get digital resources. So if you need a chapter from a resource, you can request it through ILL, and we can try to find that digitally and get it to you. And usually the turnaround's a lot quicker with a digital resource than it would be with something in hand. Now obviously, if you're a history professor and you're doing deep research on a Renaissance period where you need a specific book item, we're not really able to get you that, but it's always worth asking to see if we can find a digital representation of that item right now. And certainly we're going to go back to getting in-hand ILL resources as quickly as we can. So to access ILL, I'll show you this in a little bit more detail in just a minute. You're basically just setting up an account for yourself with the university so that we can contact you and tell you that your ILL is available, or get it to you digitally if it's something that we've gotten digitally. It just involves setting up a username and a password using your @ number so that we can track you down and tell you you've got materials ready to go. Our ILL associate, April Ortega, shows here is at 505-454-3481, or you could email her at acortega@nmhu.edu. You could also email me as well. I certainly take a lot of ILL questions as they come in as well. So I'll try to remember to put my email address up here in a little bit. I didn't put that on my giant slide of stuff. So, talking about the centers and distance education students. I am the external programs librarian, so it is my purview to get information to folks at the centers. So if you're teaching through one of the centers, know that all these resources are available for you as well. We're essentially all distance education students at this point. So just always want to make sure that you know that all of these resources are available for you as well. And we're working hard to get students connected to a lot of these resources, especially when we talk about social work students. Most of the social work students are away from the Las Vegas area, the large proportion of them. So we do a lot of work to get them, databases like StinHall and things that they can use for their studies. So we do have some experience there. And again, if you have any questions, I am the external programs and ILL librarian. So give me a call. It's 505-454-3337. So another thing that we're involved with is we are kind of the repository and the point person for publishing theses and professional papers. Our periodicals librarian, Josephine Senna, is the one who takes in those theses, makes sure that they're formatted properly, and then sends them out to have them printed and bound so they can be added to the university collection. So again, we have a record of the scholarship that's gone on here at Highlands over time. We have a pretty decent sized theses collection. We have copies in the archives, but we also have them up on the third floor for checkout as well. So do know that those exist. And Josephine can be reached at 505-454-3411 or at jlsenag@nmhu.edu. So we have library tutorials that are accessible from our library web pages. So tutorials there that you can access and learn how to use a particular service. But again, I want to stress, if you have a question about anything, accessing anything, please give us a call, email us, Zoom with us. We want to get you to those materials and help you access it as quickly and painlessly as possible. So, that's really all I have. I wanted to see if anybody had any questions about any of that so far. Be happy to take any questions. My coworker April Kent is also online, so she could certainly answer anything, even if I couldn't. So I'll stop sharing the screen and see if anybody has any questions about anything.
And I just want to note that I put a link to the flyer that Kevin just covered into chat. There's also a file that can be downloaded. We can email, and I
you very much. Can't wait to use your services at some point soon.
Nice. It's always nice to see new faces too. So whether it be Zoom or hopefully soon in person. So.
Hopefully.
True. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again, just so that I can just kind of walk through what you would expect to see if you were looking at the web page. So the regular NMHU web page, pretty straightforward. A lot of ways that you can access the library from here. So a little bit, let me see if I can move some of this information over so I can see. So it can be awkward on the page to look around for what you're looking for. If you scroll over, what if I need help here on the main page? There are libraries down there. We're also located way down at the bottom of the main page, the NMHU.edu main page. We're down in the lower corner here as well. Fine now that the ITS has activated the portal from a few months ago. The portal really one of the easier ways to access the library. So logging into the portal, obviously you'd have to put your number to access the portal. So again, if you were on the road, didn't have access, maybe forgot your password, whatever, you could still look at a lot of the library content just by accessing the main library page. Let's see if it'll load. I'll load a previous screen I had. And there we are, libraries. We're located right on as one of the main buttons as part of your collection of apps. Now, all of us are going to have different apps depending on what unit or what department we work in. So there may be things that you see here that you wouldn't see, but libraries should be one of the ones you see there. So when I click on libraries, it takes us to the Thomas D. Donnelly library page. It kind of moves you down the page a little bit. So you're starting kind of in the middle in one of the popular sections of the page. But I do want you to know that there's certainly a picture up at the top of the Donnelly Library. Want to make it apparent that if you need to contact us, we do have a Zoom quick click link here where you can just click and access us via Zoom. So we have our business continuation plan. So you could certainly see a lot of the things that I've just talked about. The services that we're offering right now, all contained right there with a click on more right here. So again, the page opens up with really kind of the best, greatest hits of library information, things that you probably want to get to quickly. So we're talking about things like, okay, if I needed some streaming video content, mentioned earlier that we have databases by subject and databases by title. If you know a database that you've worked with previously that was really useful, hey, you can certainly look at it by title. But if you wanted to look by subject, if you're not sure what kind of content we have, you certainly could look there as well. So, so right down here, we have videos. It gets you to video resources. We have a lot of different streaming video resources right now, a lot of really good ones. Some of them more subject specific. So obviously, Joe's basic biology, pretty apparent what that is going to get you to. But some of the basic ones like Alexander Street, Films on Demand, and Canopy could be really popular resources and can take a little time to sort of decipher what they have content-wise, because they each do, sometimes they'll have some similar films. PBS content comes to mind as one you'll find on several of those different platforms. But they all do have different content, so it's worth looking at those, doing a little research, seeing what you can find for your particular area of course study. So that could be really useful as well.
And then we had a request if you could show Canopy. That was coming in from chat.
Yep, absolutely. So Canopy has been really popular because, and here's something to think about too. When I clicked on Canopy, some of the databases will want you to sort of sign in again. I'm not sure whether it's just a protective feature or if it's something with our proxy server. But again, if I log in again, it'll ask me to load Canopy. Canopy is one of those that has tried to add sort of improved security features so people aren't just stumbling upon Canopy and using our subscription willy-nilly. So Canopy does want you to log into NMHU. It makes it sound like it's going to ask for a password again, but it basically just takes you to another screen. I think it's pretty much all I've been able to understand from the folks at Canopy is it's just basically multi-layers that they make you click through just to make sure you're a Highlands person. When you log in here, you see all of the Canopy films that are available. You could certainly search Canopy in that fashion. There's a browse feature here so that you could browse different subject headings for particular types of films. Notice that you see another login box. You don't have to log into Canopy to use it. You could watch whatever you want from Canopy. What logging in allows you to do, it allows you to sort of keep a record of films, favorites that you want to access. It also gives you features for ways that you can embed video so that you could use it in your class materials too. So certainly something we could talk to you about a little more in depth when we, maybe on a one-on-one basis. But Canopy is a great resource. Canopy was developed with as a university resource. It's an Australian university database that's kind of expanded to, but one of their original service communities, is the point I'm trying to make, was the university and college community. So they try to keep it streamlined, but also dedicated to subject headings that make a little more sense for university community professionals. So lots of ways, lots of things that you could look up there to browse Canopy. Anybody have any further questions about Canopy? I want to make sure we keep moving on here. All right, I don't have anything.
We just had the one question, and it's about some login things with Canopy. And you do have to go through our webpage also because 2020 has been a challenging year. Kevin can tell you about a few things to look at with troubleshooting. So you do have to go through our webpage.
That is one
also,
of the...
yeah, and some browsers are better than others. So Kevin.
Last semester and when we had some previous technical issues, we found that Firefox seems to work a little bit better. IPS has kind of moved away from the idea that one browser particularly works better than another, but it seems like for most of our content, it seems like Firefox tends to work a little bit better, especially we tend to have more issues with Chrome here and there. About the login for Canopy, it's important to remember when you're using really any of the database content, you need to go through the library pages because that gets you behind our proxy wall and allows you to be recognized as a Highlands member. Not as big a deal now with the portal, and now the portal's become an established thing because the portal essentially logs you in as a Highlands community member, no matter where you are. And then if you're accessing library content, any library content, through the portal, through those connections in the portal, you're going to be behind that proxy wall that gets you authenticated, essentially. Authenticated as a Highlands community member, a community user. And again, all of these resources are available for any faculty, staff, or student member of the community. Is that kind of what you had in mind there, April? Just was that anything to do with the chat?
Oh, yes. Just to say again, sometimes there will be some problems that come up, and we really very much appreciate it. If you let us know whatever problems you have, Kevin, the rest of the team are always happy to do a one-on-one Zoom. And if there's any problems, we want to know as soon as possible so we can start working on solutions. And
that is an important thing, as April mentioned, that like any product, any service that's digital in format, there are times where things don't work properly or the service is down or there's maintenance being done. So if you do, and I'll reiterate that, it's so important that if you have any problem with a resource, get in touch with us so that we can start the process of finding out is it a vendor issue, is it something going on with our system, so that we can make sure there's as little gap as possible in getting yourself and students to the content you need. So, I'm trying to think. Any other resources that anyone would particularly like to see? I'm happy to show you anything, but let's go back. One of the biggies that we get with instruction with students and in our library research classes, And that's important to remember. We do have library research classes that we offer, both at the 1110 level and the 4000, 5000 level as well. So those might be something that you could direct students to so they could become better researchers earlier in their Highlands journey. So certainly something to think about. But one of the things, differentiations that it's good to think about, students will often be told that they need journal articles. And so the default a lot of times for a lot of students is to see journal articles here and think that's where they need to begin their journey. It's important to remember that this journal articles links you to a service that we have called Journal Finder. Essentially, it's a way of finding a particular journal to see if we have access to it through our collection. It's not necessarily the easiest way to begin just a basic search for journal articles. I know that seems a little counterintuitive when we talk about it. So that's why we have this area here that says start with general databases. We have a lot of sort of popular aggregators for journal articles and journal collections. Academic Search Complete, ProQuest, and OmniFile Full Text. These would be the places to send students in the beginnings of a journal search. Unless you needed them to go to a particular journal, well, by all means, use Journal Finder if you need to do that. But these sort of basic search tools, search databases, will let them sort of start that search to find, say, scholarly journals or particular articles about a particular topic. A little bit easier to begin that search that way. So I know it seems a little counterintuitive, but that is really a good difference to think about there. I mentioned ILL earlier, interlibrary loan. Interlibrary loan, very easy to access. It sends you to that link, sends you to Iliad, which is the service we use to route ILLs to folks. So if you don't have a username or a password, you can click here on full-time or first-time user. It's going to discuss what you have to do, the nature of ILL, and then it has a link here to, if you're a first-time user, the kind of things that you need to input so that we can contact you. Notice the things with red stars are the only things that need to be filled out, and they're the basics, like your name, your ID number, your email address, ways that we can contact you. So just know that really simple process, easy to access ILL and request maybe electronic articles, electronic version chapters of particular resources if we're able to track those down from other libraries. I will say more libraries now coming back from the pandemic a little bit, offering more collections. So we're kind of waiting to see from the governor and the president to see when we'll be able to get more of those things in hand. So I see you coming to the end of my time. Don't want to go over into someone else's time. Does anybody else have any sort of emerging questions right now they'd like to ask? Again, I can't reiterate enough. I'll stop sharing my screen. I can't reiterate enough to please, if you have questions, you know, any of these means right here next to me, contact us. Let us know what you need. We're always excited to work with faculty when they have questions. Try to get those resources both to you and to the students that you're serving. So let's see.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kevin. This has been phenomenal.
Let me just answer, sorry, Veronica, let me just answer Luke. Luke, we do have a tutorial on how to embed, and I'm certainly glad to talk to you about that as well if you need to. Email me and maybe we can talk about Zooming just to walk through that if you want to. But thank you so much, Veronica. We appreciate having the opportunity to be involved.
Yeah, no, this was awesome. I'm always impressed by our library and what it has to offer and how it stays current and moving forward to help bring access to our students and our faculty. So I love libraries. I'm biased.
Very kind.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much for putting this together. Again, these resources will be available on the CTU website, but of course, the library staff are just phenomenal. Reach out to them with any questions, concerns. They're great. They're great. With that, I did see that Faron and other members of our human resource department have shown up. So with that, thank you, Kevin, April. I think Katie and Gino are also on here. Thank you again for everyone that was participating from our library. Thank you and have a good day, okay?
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, Faron, I thought I saw your name jump around a little.
You did.
Yay.
Good morning, Veronica.
Hello, Faron. How are you?
I'm doing great. How's everybody today?
Good, good. Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much for being here with us today. I see there are some other members of Human Resources also on with us today. So, but for the sake of time, I'm just going to turn it right over to you, Faron.
Okay, thank you, Veronica.
Thank you.
So, for those that don't know me, my name is Faron Valencia. I'm the Director for Human Resources Payroll. I'm joined today with two of my colleagues, Denise Spicer, she's our payroll manager, and also Marka Trujillo, our HR generalist. So we have a little PowerPoint presentation, just kind of give you an overview. It's intended just to kind of cram a lot of information, and I know it's death by PowerPoint, and everyone loves that, right? But I'm going to offer some time after this, so this way we can ask any specific questions you may have regarding some of the things particular to you. Either from the payroll side or the HR side. And I know that with the start of the new year, there's just a lot of activity going on. Some of you we may have already contacted to gather forms and such. And there may be one or two people out there that still need to meet with us via Zoom in order to get some of these documents satisfied. And we know who you are. We'll be reaching out to you here soon. So let me go ahead and start with sharing my screen. Let's see, I want to make sure that we can go ahead and show this PowerPoint. Can everyone see the PowerPoint?
I believe so, yes, Faron.
Yes, yes.
Oh, good, good. All right. So let me just minimize my icons here. All right, just a brief overview of where we're at today. So again, welcome to NMHU. We're glad that you're here. There's some important work to do. So away we go. A little bit about NMHU we're going to cover, and just some general employee information, as well as some payroll and benefits where Marka and Denise will lend their expertise. Within the HR payroll staff, this is kind of our hierarchy right now. We're a small staff, so as you can imagine, there's probably quite a bit of activity going on at any given time. But we welcome to, take your inquiries, and anything that you may need from us. Please reach out to us. I didn't put contact information up here because it gets kind of messy in the PowerPoint, but I'm sure we can find each other on the global. Our mailing address will be here, as well as our HR mailbox. It's screened daily, so if anything comes up, if you have a question in general, you can always reach out to us either by phone or through the email site. We are actually located at the University Com West building, directly across from the Ilfield Auditorium. Once we get back to a normal environment, say we're hoping that we get back to a normal environment soon, then we invite you to come over and visit us. But until then, everything's mainly done through Zoom, email communications, or phone. It's a little bit about us, kind of what we do. It's the whole scope of payroll and HR. As you can see from here, we engage in a lot of activity, everything from onboarding new employees to labor relations, anything relating with payroll, organizational development. We're also involved with the compensation, benefits, recruitment, affirmative action policies, and a lot of different categories of HR. We're currently in the state of a compensation study. So we have a third party that specializes in this, and they're looking at our pay structure, compensation structure. With that, they're going to release a couple of recommendations. They'll be interviewing people to see where we stand with that. It may not affect the faculty, because this is scoped particularly for staff positions, and I know we have some new staff that are in here. So they may be reaching out to you just to kind of get what you do, how long you've been working here, et cetera, et cetera. This is kind of a little excerpt tells a little bit about NMHU. There's a lot of rich history and tradition here with Highlands, but I'll leave it at that. We have quite diverse workforce, great place to work, great place to live. If you're looking for some general employee information, there is a site to where we upload all pertinent forms. As things change, we upload them there. So you'll be able to find that at that website. You'll see a whole inventory of things that we have. If you're looking to change your W-4, say a direct deposit, etc., those forms can be found there. Here at Highlands, we also do a power of service. This is a collection of people that get together. We try to bring different flavor and variety to the training environment through the power of service. Great benefit to the employees. Everything from how to construct a pivot table, everything to even how to navigate through People Admin, our applicant tracking system. And with that too, we do also have the People Admin where we can find more information. Periodically, we set up classes so we can, recognizing that we do have a lot of new employees that have come to Highlands now here for the fall. So we will be scheduling that. So this way, if you're going to be involved with hiring either a student or staff, et cetera, or constructing forms for faculty search, then you definitely want to attend this training. And we'll reveal more information about that as we progress. The performance evaluation, this applies specifically for the staff. The faculty have a different process through the collective bargaining agreement. The performance evaluation that we do is set up annually. So you'll be, if you are in charge of any staff employees, you'll be in charge of providing that performance evaluation for your staff employee. Once a year, we collect those with a deadline of June 30th. So a little bit about payroll and benefits. I'll go ahead and invite Marka to jump in, and also Denise Spicer.
Good morning. Denise will go ahead and review the payroll schedule and the web time entry.
Okay, thank you, Marka. Faron, do you have a slide that shows the payroll schedule?
I do not. No.
Okay, that's fine. If you go to that web documents link that he showed you on the previous slide, the payroll schedule is published there. If you just type in payroll schedule, it will come up. We publish that schedule twice a year we update it every 6 months just because it's a very big, there's a lot of information on it. It's hard to read if we put it all on for the year. But that payroll schedule applies to everybody, whether you are faculty, whether you're per course instructor, whether you're staff, everybody is paid bi-weekly every other week. And that, that results in 26 pays every year. 26, 26, 26, okay? So if you are a per course faculty, you jump on the bus for the period of your course, your contract, and then you're off the bus. So you don't actually get 26, but you are paid on the same schedule as everybody else. So I encourage everybody to go find that payroll schedule, keep it handy, not just for yourself, but for if you have anybody working for you, because you may not have to submit a timesheet, but someone working for you does. And there are deadlines in there for the timesheet submission. And we have a very tight turnaround time from as we process this payroll every other week, and late timesheets really have an impact on that process. We have to keep going back and starting over again every time we get one of those. We have to reset the process. And so it's important that you know the dates that are on that schedule, that you make sure that your employees or you get your timesheet in on time through the web time entry process. Preferably, we can accept a manual timesheet, but again, it becomes a more complicated process. So I encourage you to find those. The web time entry, so on Banner, you do have a portal that you can go into, and you are supposed to be reporting your time there. So the time entry opens for the pay period the Wednesday after a payday. So if you have to report hours, you can start reporting those hours for the next payroll the Wednesday after payday. And that allows us time to reset the system and get the data out of there. So those first couple of days you'll have to keep track of outside of the system and then go in and enter those. Please, please, please let us know as soon as you can if you are having trouble with your web time entry. I say this in all of my emails, but if you have trouble, don't wait until Monday at 10 o'clock to contact us. There's very little we can do. If you tell us Thursday or Friday before it's due, that gives us some time to get it fixed. We'd rather you submit through that web time entry. So if you have problems, or if your staff are having problems, a student that's working for you has problems, please let us know as soon as possible so we can get it fixed so they can support their time through that. If you're not required to submit hours that you work, we do still need to know when you're out for sick leave. Faculty don't have to report their vacation, but we do need to know when you're out on sick leave. And that is done through a form through your department. We need you to fill out that faculty absence form and get that to us because we have to manually enter that time for you. And oftentimes we'll get those forms 2 pay periods down the road, and then we have to go back and update it. So as soon as you get that, as soon as you've taken those days or you know you're going to take those days, please get that form from your department, get it signed, get it routed, and get it turned into us so that we can update your stuff. We do prefer people to use direct deposit. It's better for you. It's better for the university. You'll get your deposit faster, very regularly, right into your account. You don't have to worry about cashing a check or anything. But we understand if you don't want to do it, but we prefer that you do it. You can select multiple accounts. You can split your deposit into a couple of different accounts if you want us to do that. There is a form available. Most of you have dealt with that already in the onboarding process, but if you want to make changes to your direct deposit, you will still need to submit that form. It's available from the online documents. We need you to fill it out. And if we end up with a paper form, we're going to contact you just for security reasons. So don't think that we're hassling you or we don't believe you. We just want to verify that you are the person making the request for that direct deposit change, whether you're adding an account, closing an account, whatever it is. So we're going to contact you. And then you're also going to get an email anytime we access your direct deposit information in the system. So you don't have to, oftentimes when that email goes out, people will call us and say, what happened? It means that if you turned in a form and we went in to make the change, you also get an email notification that someone's been in your direct deposit. So of course, if you didn't submit a form and you get that email, we need to know immediately because somehow something was happened to someone accessed that direct deposit information, and we want to just make sure that that's you. So the form's available on the website. Please use it. Tell us. We can usually get it done within a payroll cycle, but the sooner you get us information, the better. Marka, you want to talk more about the benefits? And we'll take questions at the end.
Sure. So the next item is leave accruals, vacation and or sick leave. And it depends on the type of employee that you are. If you're tenured or tenure faculty, you need to reference your collective bargaining agreement. If you're a new hire, that usually, I believe it indicates at the start of your academic year contract, you're awarded 54 hours. And then starting with your second semester, you're awarded 12 hours a month for the academic year. What we do for that portion is you accrue 6 hours every paycheck for the academic year. Non-tenure track, you need to reference your contingent faculty handbook and the personnel policies and procedures. For staff, there's two documents that are referenced. So you have your collective bargaining agreement and the personnel policies and procedures manual. For the non-exempt staff, for both annual leave accruals or vacation accruals, that is broken down by the number of years of service. As far as the sick leave, for the collective bargaining, I believe it's 4.5 hours a paycheck and 5.4 hours for the non-union staff. Group health insurance, our benefits are administered through the state of New Mexico. So you have two medical plans to choose from, a PPO and an HMO. Blue Cross Blue Shield offers one of each, and Presbyterian is the other HMO carrier. Regardless of which medical plan you select, Express Scripts is the prescription drug carrier. You have 31 days from your date of hire or qualifying event or the open enrollment period that usually occurs now in September, October to become effective January 1, to enroll or make any changes to your plan. Dental is Delta Dental. With that plan, you get a regular 6-month cleaning paid for at 100%. Once you start going into your, what's it called? Your basic services, extractions, fillings, the plan covers 80%, and major services, the plan covers 60%. Vision, we just had a switch effective July 1, and it's iMed. With that plan, you can still get an eye exam once a year, your lenses, contact lenses once a year, frames on your glasses once every 2 years. There are co-pays if you're going to get what I call the Cadillac features of eyewear, scratch coating, progressive lenses, no line, bifocal, trifocal, stuff like that. Life insurance, the university for new hires provides each of its employees with $50,000 of basic term life insurance at no cost to them. You do also have the option to pick up additional life insurance for yourself and any eligible dependents through the Hartford, which is through the state, and Union Provident, which is an independent life insurance company that we conduct business with. The state also offers the disability program. The first part of it is the short-term disability, which there is a 28-day elimination period in which benefits begin if you're approved for that claim. You have to pay premiums for a complete 12 months before you can file the claim. Work-related injuries or illnesses cannot be filed. That goes under workers' comp. You can be on short-term disability for a max of 24 weeks, provided that there is the necessary documentation from your physician. This plan can convert to a long-term disability plan for a max of 2 years. The company does work with you through both your short-term and your long-term if you're converting to long-term. With that, they'll send you notifications that you have to get your physician certifications updated and so on and so forth. We have an employee assistance program also that the university pays for each one of its employees and their household members. This was a switch from effective July 1st to Wellbeing Solutions. There is now, you can now receive up to 5 counseling sessions at no cost to you. It is HIPAA compliant and confidential. We offer flex spending accounts for medical reimbursement and dependent care. The max for dependent care in a calendar year is $5,000 for medical reimbursement, which covers co-pays for doctor visits, prescriptions, the out-of-pocket expenses for your, if you go get glasses, dental work, that sort of stuff. There is some over-the-counter stuff that you can get. the calendar year max for that is $2,750 for the current calendar year. I don't know if they're going to increase it for calendar year 21. I won't find out till later on this fall. We have a tuition reduction program for both the employee and their eligible dependent. For the employee, you need to reference your respective collective bargaining agreements and personnel policies. Each one is different. I think for the personnel policies, the employee will get up to 8 credit hours during the fall and spring, 4 during the summer. I believe for the non-exempt CBA, they have a section in there, I believe it's Article 14 if I'm not mistaken, for degree seeking and non-degree seeking. And the CBA faculty does also have a section in their handbook. Dependents, your eligible dependents, it only applies to Highlands offered courses. I believe at the current time we're paying like $78 a credit hour. And that's for a max of 18 credit hours a semester for fall and spring. And I believe it's 9 or 12 for the summer. Any fees, lab fees or books, that is your dime. The university does not cover that. Retirement. We have, for those that qualify, an alternative retirement plan, which means that there's going to be 3 plans to choose from: the state retirement plan, which is Educational Retirement Board or ERB, TI, CREFT, and Fidelity. Regardless of which plan you select, 10.7% of the employee's gross biweekly earnings are withheld for your portion. The university contributes, I think that's a typo, 14.15%, I'm sorry, of your gross earnings per paycheck. Should you elect TIE, CREFT, or Fidelity, 3.25% of the employees of the university's contributions stay at the state for to help pay for the unfunded liability and administering the alternative retirement plan. You have, if you qualify for the alternative retirement plan, you have 90 days from your date of hire to make that election. If you don't, you will default to the state plan. We do offer supplemental retirement plans where you can set aside additional retirement dollars. We have 2, a 403B, also known as the tax sheltered annuity, and there's our companies there. I think there's like 6 or 8 of them. We offer a deferred comp plan, which is a 457B, and that just changed to VOYA. And the amount, there is a different plan year amount or calendar year amounts that you're allowed. I'm not sure of the max for this year. They do have age up, they do have a catch up provision. It just depends on what you're trying to do on your contributions, or you can just set aside $50, $100 a paycheck, and it does add up. Next slide. We do offer workers' comp benefits or workers' comp coverage. That's for any employees that are injured on the job, regardless if you need medical attention or not. It's always best to report your injury to Human Resources as soon as possible. There is paperwork that both you as the injured worker and the supervisor of the injured worker need to complete. If it is an emergency, please do not hesitate to seek emergency care at the local hospital, Alta Vista. But we do need to be notified, so your supervisor or somebody should notify HR immediately so that we can get things going for the claim. Okay, so all faculty and staff onboarding, due to our current situation, we are doing all onboard activity via Zoom. So you need to contact HR to make arrangements for a Zoom meeting so that we can certify your I-9 and discuss other benefits that relate to your position, and review all the new hire documents with you. Any questions?
There's one in the chat, Marka, about, let's see, where can we see our contributions to the health insurance?
Was that Monica? Yes. Monica, you can review those under your banner self-service, under benefits, I believe, and there should be a benefits statement there. And that will indicate an itemized listing of what we are currently deducting per paycheck for you.
Yeah, I have a question about logging hours. I'm not sure if I'm exempt or not exempt. I went onto Banner just now and looked at the employee dashboard, and I don't see where I would do that, where I would log in hours.
Okay, let me check your stuff right quick.
It says I'm FT administrative.
Okay, so you would only record your leave if you're going to be taking leave.
Ah, okay. Thank
Annual
you.
sick leave. If you're subpoenaed for jury duty, you need to send over to HR payroll a copy of that summons. And if you do have to attend jury duty, we also need it's called a record of attendance. And you let them know when you get there. And what they do is they provide a letter that says on this date, you were here from 8 to 9:30. And then we'll put that in your file.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
And then Angelique wants to know how to get the tuition discount. So there is a form that they need to fill out for that.
Yes, the tuition discount is located under the HR online documents. If a shortcut to that is in description, if you type in the word tuition, it's going to bring up the personnel policy that's the tuition reimbursement policy that's located in the personnel policy and procedures manual. We don't have the other ones listed under there for the CBA material, but you will also find the employee and the dependent. For the employee, I did have to do a modification. It's laid out the same thing. I just added a sentence on there that says something to the effect are these classes going towards a degree or non-degree seeking, a degree seeking program, yes or no? That way I know how I need to process those. For a dependent, if you're going to be adding a domestic partner, because it does cover domestic partner as well as our medical, dental, and vision, there are domestic partner affidavits that need to be completed. There is a separate one for each one. So if that's the case, then let us know so that we can get the correct one forwarded to you for whichever enrollment you're going to be doing.
Awesome. Marka, Denise, Faron, thank you so much. We've got about 1 more minute to go, and I see that there is some. There's been some other questions. So is it okay if for those questions just to send you a direct email?
Yes, please do.
Yeah. Excellent. Excellent. Thank you so much for your questions. Your questions are very important. But for the sake of time, and our next guest, please do send your questions and concerns directly to Marka and Faron and Denise, and hopefully we'll get you those answers. I know we'll get you those answers. What am I saying?
Of course.
Of course. Of course.
So thank you, Veronica, for giving us the time to present to you guys. And again, just give us a ring or email hr@nmhu.edu.
Awesome.
Will do.
Thank you ever so much. Okay. Awesome. Thank you again, Faron. Thank you, Marka. Thank you, Denise. Denise, I love your new hair. You look so good. Quarantine is doing you good. Thank you very very much. All right. That was really insightful. There was a lot there. Please do reach out to HR. They're phenomenal over there, and they're very effective and efficient in getting your answers. So please do reach out to them. Okay, so next up is, let me just make sure. All right, are our colleagues from HU Cares. HU Cares is a phenomenal department, and they do really, really amazing things for not only our students, which is their huge group of people that they serve, but also to staff and faculty as well. It's just an all-around multi-purpose space. And so I'm really excited to introduce you to Dr. Ruthy Watson. I wish there was we could ring bells or chime or something. Just introduce all these amazing people to you. Really get the fanfare going. So Dr. Ruthy, I see you are on.
Yes,
Excellent.
I'm here.
And fabulous. Fabulous. Excellent. Well, I don't want to take up your time, so please have at it.
Can I share my screen, right?
Yes, please.
Okay. So, hi everybody. I am I'm Dr. Ruthy Watson. I'm going to share my screen because I have this really cool presentation that I love to use when I work with faculty. And so welcome, number one, to Highlands. And yeah, welcome to Highlands. And let me tell you a little bit about CARES, what we do if this ever, there we go. So CARES is the Center for Advocacy, Resources, Education, and Support. And so we are based on the main campus in Las Vegas, but we also have a coordinator who works for the center sites. So if you are one of those who are located in Albuquerque or Rio Rancho, Santa Fe, Farmington, we have a coordinator who works and oversees activities at those locations. And then we also, again, have a coordinator who works with me at the main campus in Las Vegas. But again, as the wonderful Veronica said, we basically provide services not only for students, but also for our faculty and staff, because it, for me, is a holistic approach for providing services to make sure everyone is well. And so we know that if faculty have something going on or staff have something going on, it impacts their ability to do their work. And so same applies to students. If something's going on, they come to us not just one-dimensional, they come to us as multidimensional individuals. And so what we do at CARES is we try to focus on helping, uncover what those issues are that may be impacting their learning. And so a little bit about who we are. There's me right there. And my background is in public health. And so I have my degree in community health education and also public health promotion and wellness. And so I actually used to be faculty at Highlands in exercise science and sports. And now I have been, had the pleasure of using my expertise and my ideas as the director of HU Cares. And then I have our main campus coordinator, Samantha Baca, and then Latasha Burbank, who again, Latasha is based in Rio Rancho. Samantha is here in Las Vegas right now, but again, we're all from home. And so I've indicated our contact information, even though I have noted our office phone numbers. All of our phones right now are routed and forwarded to our cell phones. So you're still able to contact us at any time. There's no, it's like a seamless transition. You really don't have to worry about Again, you can email us, you can call us, and if you really, really need to put a face with a name and you forget this slide right here, you can Zoom with us as well. So a couple of slides then, again, as I talk about our holistic approach, we are certified advocates, and we received that certification through the New Mexico Coalitions Against Domestic Violence. We are part of campus safety and student affairs, meaning that if something occurs on campus and it is linked to one of those areas, even though student affairs covers everything. But again, if something happens and campus police are called, generally they will call us for assistance. And that could be anything. That could be domestic violence, sexual assault, bullying or stalking. It could be suicide, prevention or suicide ideations. It could be any of those. It could just be a student who is so distraught and distressed that they may be showing signs of disorientation and that sort of thing. So students, campus police can call us, the housing offices, the RAs will call us for assistance, faculty will call us for assistance, staff will call us for assistance. Wherever you are in whatever department you're in, it doesn't, there's no boundary. So you can call HU Cares for anything, even if you're not sure. You got a question. I know that you're going to be hearing from Ruth Marion Polsky. She's our Title IX coordinator. And so there have been some changes in Title IX, and I will let her, tell you about those. But still, when it comes to anything that makes a student uncomfortable, and it impacts their ability to learn, then you can call us. And if we can't help, then we know who can, because we have this broad network, again, of resources on campus and then off campus. And something that we provide, which is compassionate, we provide what I call Cares Comfort. And basically that means that if you need to just come in and talk and just, let your hair down and let your burdens go, we are a confidential space on campus. We are one of the only confidential spaces on campus, look, one only, but we are one of the spaces on campus where what comes to Cares stays with Cares. We don't tell anybody about anything unless a student wants us to tell them. We can help them process through it and troubleshoot, but we listen, and then we ask the student what they want to do about it. Again, that's Cares Comfort. Sometimes it's just a shoulder to cry on. And we, even though right now we're by Zoom, in very extreme circumstances, what we're going to be doing is we can rent or we can reserve a room on campus that will allow us to be, physically distant, but still see a person on campus if the need is there. We provide, again, physical, emotional, environmental, and mental advocacy and wellness. We do that why do we do it? We do it because there's so many levels of challenge that our young people come to college with. And then there's also, various levels of challenge that our older students come to us. So we know that life events have no, they don't discriminate. Life events happen, and the idea is that we're there to provide support and assistance. So whether it's young kids with the college experience that right now they're not necessarily getting it the way they thought they would. And so that presents, COVID is presenting a whole new level of anxiety and depression, and also this confusion, uncertainty for our students. So we know that that's one thing. And so some of those things can lead to other issues like substance abuse, socially unacceptable behavior. So we know that before COVID, that was an issue, but with COVID, it's even multiplied. Some of our first generation students had experienced pressure that they've never had before because they're the first ones to leave home. So a lot of times they may be bringing the pressures from home still with them on campus and to the classroom. And so we then need to help them work through that. And sometimes that may mean working behind the scenes to make sure everything is okay at home. And we can do that as well. Colleges and universities have a responsibility to help our students that come into our care. They're coming to us and into our care. So they have a responsibility to help students navigate and work through that. And so we know that if issues are not addressed or resolved, that it can have negative outcomes. And that can mean withdrawing from school. That can mean, doing poorly in classes. That can mean really, financial implications that they are not prepared for in the future. And so that's why we do what we do. So CARES is here because sometimes you don't always need a plan. You just need to breathe. And so some of the things that we do is we allow our students, we allow our staff, our faculty to come into our offices and just breathe. And we are there to support them. And so our multifaceted approach to prevention and safety includes awareness, education activities, well-being activities, and again, it's confidential and a safe space. And that means for LGBTQ, that means for traditional, whatever it is, anybody that comes in our office, we basically will keep your secret, but we will also help you work through the impact of whatever that secret is that's having on you. We provide academic and legal support on and off campus. We help with accessing information that sometimes students feel like they can't get an answer. And so we're able to help them do that. We're able to put them in contact with the right person and even get that answer themselves, ourselves. We can assist with arrangements for housing, employment, financial aid, anything like that that a student may be concerned with. We provide resources, information and support for all students, again, faculty and staff as well, because you may come to us and you have a question about something. But we can probably, I usually say with our broad network, statewide network of resources, we can, if we don't have the answer, we can usually point you in the direction to somebody that has it or that knows it. And so we provide those resources. Everything at CARES, by the way, is free. It's all paid for by student fees and other fees, but that way there's no worry about how can I pay for this. We also provide assistance and referrals to our Highlands Student Health. And Student Health is run by El Centro, which is our medical provider. They also provide our behavioral health. And so we're able to do referrals directly to El Centro so that our students don't have to worry about red tape and that sort of thing that comes along sometimes with a referral. All the medical services that our students receive is free because it is part of their student fees as well. And let me throw this out here to you. If you are new in town and new to Highlands, and especially if you live in Vegas, if you are faculty at Highlands, your medical care at El Centro is also, it's not free, but you have access to that to El Centro as a medical provider. So I know sometimes when you come into town from another place, you have no idea, who you're going to sign up with for your medical care. Well, you can go to El Centro and they do all of the services that you would get at your major clinics and that sort of thing. And again, your copays and all that, whatever plan you are, they all apply there. So just kind of think about that. And again, same thing as it comes to behavioral health and anything of that nature. Education, we do educational workshops and activities. They include CARES 101 is our new course that's going to be introduced in Brightspace. We are working on that. And so that's going to include an overview of everything that we do, but also the important topics that we cover and it's going to be an ongoing course. It's going to be open to really anyone. So once we get it done, it'll be available in Brightspace. But our topics include sexual assault, healthy relationships, being a responsible cowgirl and cowboy, right? That's our mascot, the cowboys and cowgirls. Social media safety, mindfulness, gender stereotypes, anti-discrimination, anti-bias. We're really looking at all of those things because they all affect our behavior and what we bring to the new experience of being in college. And so our engagement activities we do online right now. Everything is virtual. We will be doing those through our social media channels, which are Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We also will be doing them via Zoom. And every time we put something out, you will have access to it. You'll know that it's coming out. But just kind of follow us on those channels as well so that you can see what we're doing and feel free to join in. Everything that we do is really meant to, again, provide education, awareness, but also to make you think about what's going on. Because we know, and I know, that behavior does not occur in a vacuum. Nothing happens in one single moment. There's all these contributing factors. And so what we do at CARES is we try to make sure that our approach to education and awareness is multifaceted and is multi-layered, but at the same time, we make sure that we are putting out a message that is concrete. And so just kind of keep that in mind if you're looking for, and even if you're looking for ideas about how to connect, we're doing that as well. Because again, being first line, if you are faculty, if you are staff, being that first line person that a student comes to, you need to be able to make sure that you're doing everything you can to reach and be connected with those students, because that improves the learning experience. So here's some activities that we did in April. This is when we were on campus. In April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. So we did Chalk the Walk, where we had anyone who was interested come in, get some chalk, and we got a chance to just write up positive messages on the sidewalk to promote support for sexual assault awareness survivors, and then also prevention. Support. So we do, again, support students who have been affected or experienced any type of violence, but also encounter life events that evoke stress and that impact academic success. That advocacy includes talking with professors on behalf of the student, arranging meetings where everyone comes together, kind of mediating those, but also just contacting students, contacting professors, and trying to arrive at some type of strategy so that the student, if they're feeling overwhelmed, is able to rebound and come out with a positive outcome. We also have some initiatives where we are trying to work with men, the male students, to promote healthy masculinity, to do things like bystander intervention programming. LGBTQ Safe Zone, Latasha Burbank, who is our Rio Rancho coordinator, is going to be presenting on that, I believe either today or tomorrow. So you'll hear about that. And then again, we definitely are promoting diversity and culturally sensitive and culturally aware content to make sure that everyone feels accepted, that everyone feels heard and valued, and that everyone understands that racially divisive and intolerant attitudes are not acceptable at Highlands at all. And then we help our students as they try to navigate that. Social engagement activities, we did something, again, on campus at Armis, is one of our campus partners, where we do sister circles. And we did things like make bath scrubs and bath salts and body scrubs. But we also use that time as a time of discussion and to talk and chat about sensitive issues for females, sensitive issues for college students. So that's what we do. We start with activities that we think are, non-threatening, that are relaxing, creative, innovative, and then we use that as a path inward to have the sensitive conversations that otherwise we wouldn't have. So we know that, if you came to me, if I came to you and said, hey, I'm going to talk to you today about consent, you probably would turn the other way and walk away. But we can, through our sister circles, we can talk about sensitive issues like how to communicate with your partner, and how to make sure that respect is part of the relationship. And that way consent means so much more, and it's much more valuable. So let's stay connected. There's our contact information. Please feel free to reach out to me or reach out to any of my staff. Again, we are working virtually, but we are at your disposal 24 hours a day. We work when everybody else is not, because we always have somebody that's on call. But feel free to follow us on social media, call us, email us. My email is ruthywatson@nmhu.edu, and it's all one word, Ruthy, R-U-T-H-Y, Watson, W-A-T-S-O-N, ruthywatson@nmhu.edu. That's my personal email. Please feel free to contact me, call me, contact, email, and I will do whatever I can to be of assistance. Any questions?
Yeah,
So,
hi,
hi.
This is Melanie. I do have a question. Maybe I missed it. So, are you going to do any social distancing meetings? Do you have something scheduled?
We don't have anything as far as activities that are social distancing. The only thing that we are doing in that realm is if there's an appointment that we need to see someone, and you can request an appointment with us, but we're not doing any presentations or anything of that sort on campus. So if you need to meet with one of us, let us know, and if campus is the best way to do it, then we can reserve a room and we can meet you there, because our offices are pretty small.
Okay. Are you going to have any activities on Zoom with students?
Yes. Yes. And so once we start, we're in the planning process now for those, but once we do that, we send out our activities on the global email. You'll see that. And then we also will be sending those out. We'll be posting on our social media as well. So you'll always know, there'll be a way to know what CARES is doing.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, take care.
I just wanted to say thank you. It looks like you guys are doing some really good work over there.
We are. We have, we take pride in what we do. We're happy with what we do. And it's just a great way to be of service in an environment that is ever changing every single day. Think about how college can be a crazy experience without COVID. So yeah. COVID just adds a whole extra layer to what we do.
For sure.
Thank you.
Ruthy, it's
yes,
Veronica. There's a question in the chat from Monica. Can you provide the names of the center contacts?
Yes, so the center contact is Latasha Burbank. And she is, I'll give you her number, 505-795-3665. And I believe her email is lcburbank@nmhu.edu.
Awesome.
And I wanted to also mention too, I forgot now that Veronica's there, our TED Talk Tuesday. We do this TED Talk Tuesday activity, and it actually is where we view some TED Talks, and then we have a discussion surrounding those. And the TED Talks are meant to be a combination of current events, but also information that might be thought-provoking and stimulating to instructors about, maybe some creative teaching techniques. Also, how to deal with personal issues, or, how anything under the sun. And so we do those. We send out I think are we still going to do that, Veronica, this year?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so what we do is we send out a playlist of TED Talks that you can watch on your own through the month. And then at the end of the month, we have one big or one gathering together where we look at some other TED Talks, and then we discuss throughout the month what the theme has been for that month. So keep an eye out for that. And I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy that. That's something that Veronica and I started last year, and it really was great. A lot of fun and so innovative. We just found some really cool stuff.
Yeah. Excellent.
Quick question. Hi, Dr. Watson. Thank you for so much of your presentation, what you guys do over there. This is off note, but I just enjoy how you work the closed captioning when you present. I'm going to have to learn that from you.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
I appreciate it, because I know we work with students and I would teach you Zoom, but for the first time to see you talk and, for the computer to close caption what you're saying, that's amazing.
Oh, you know what? And that's through PowerPoint. Yeah, and you can, there's a way, like I discovered it back in May. I discovered it just playing around on PowerPoint, and all of a sudden it said, you can do closed captioning. I was like, wow, okay. And so you just set it and forget it. And it just, every time you do a presentation through PowerPoint, it's just there. It just runs now by itself. It's great.
Okay, and you have to set it up where it just automatically, you have to click a button where it's automatically will do closed caption for you.
So you can, yeah, when you go in, when you're setting up your PowerPoint presentation, I think it might be in either like slideshow or animations, one of those in that toolbar, and you'll see, like, kind of click on it and it'll say set up closed captions, whatever that is, or subtitles. You can click on that and just leave it. And so it'll be like on, and you won't even have to do it. And I won't say for every presentation, but I think that might be the case, because I did this one back in April, May. But I started it back in April, May using it, but I haven't used this presentation in a while. So I'm pretty sure it will work for whatever it is you're doing in PowerPoint once you set it up.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
I also just threw the tutorial on how to do that in the chat. So it'll walk you through how to add captions and subtitles to your PowerPoint.
Thank you, I saw that, thank you.
Excellent, excellent. Well, we've got 2 more minutes before our next and last group. Is there any further questions about HU Cares for Dr. Watson? Please shout them out. Oh, Monica has another question. Do you have to do some voice recognition? Oh, for the subtitles. I don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
I don't remember doing that. And you'll see when it's, when it's typing in whatever it is you're saying, you may get the occasional misspelling or, just kind of incorrect. But for the most part, it's pretty accurate. I think it's even more accurate than my cell phone and the voice texting. Because I try to voice text a lot, but I think this is even more accurate than the voice text.
I would agree. I would agree. All right.
So thank you so much for having me, Veronica. Always a pleasure to work with you. And yes. Everybody who's new here, welcome to Highlands. Welcome, wishing you a good year, a good semester. And if there's anything CARES can ever do, please let us know.
Awesome. Thank you.
I will say this, please encourage encourage your students to participate, because sometimes what we do with everything that we do, we still don't get the participation that we like. And so if you want to encourage your students to participate in CARES, and also if you feel like there's sometimes where you need to take a break, you're overwhelmed, you have a lot of things to do as far as grading or others, call CARES in, because we will come into your classroom and do presentations as well. So we can do presentations in your classrooms on healthy activities, on mindfulness. We have Mindfulness Monday. So we will come in and kind of give you a little bit of a break if you need it as well. So keep that in mind. Don't cancel a class, just call CARES.
Awesome. Call CARES. I love it.
Call CARES. Who are you going to call?
Hashtag.
Teacher CARES.
Teacher CARES. I like it. I like
Hashtag
it.
call CARES. I like that.
I like that. That's going to be it. All right. All right. Thank you so much,
You're
Dr.
welcome.
Watson. I so appreciate it. So important. It's such an important space for Highlands. So thank you for the introduction.
Bye-bye.
Good one. All right. This is awesome. And I hope this has all been super informative and insightful. So the next thing that we have on our list of parade of resources today is university relations. So let me see and make sure. Yes, Sean. Hello.
I am here.
Sean.
How are you?
So wonderful to have you. So I'm going
Veronica?
to, yes.
Thank you.
Can you hear me okay?
Oh, sorry, I can.
Okay.
My internet connection's a little squirrely today, so I apologize to everybody in advance.
Well, I understand that. I think I'm pushing the limits of mine as well here. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Sean Weaver and University Relations to talk about all the awesome things that they do and their presence here on campus. So Sean, take it away.
Thanks, Veronica. First off, I'd like to, for any new faculty joining us today, I'd like to welcome them to the Highlands family. I've been here for 13 years, and I'm always amazed at the work that our faculty do with students who often come to us with from underserved populations, and inspire them to go on and do great things. You really are joining an amazing institution when it comes to that. And for the faculty who have been here for a while, just want to say on behalf of our office, we hope that you had a really nice, relaxing summer, and we wish you a fulfilling and satisfying year. Just as an overview, and I'll introduce folks in my office here shortly, but just as an overview for our float in the resources parade, what University Relations does. We handle the internal and external communications for campus. We handle most of the emergency communications, the institutional marketing, media relations and public relations, the external website, community relations, and the graphic design for our recruiting materials and other units on campus. And we also are the holders of the university's graphic design standards. So anything that individual unit might want to produce, work with us, and we can get everything aligned to those standards. So that being said, I will introduce the people in my office who help make those things happen. First off is our campus, our writer and our media relations guru, Margaret McKinney. Margaret's been with the office now for 12 or 13 years herself, and really just does an amazing job highlighting the successes of our students and faculty accomplishments. So Margaret, hopefully you're on. Would you like to give everyone a few words as to what you do and how to contact you?
Great, thanks, Sean. Can you hear me? Can everybody hear me? Okay, great. As Sean said, I've been here for 12 years as the staff writer and media liaison in university relations, and I write the press releases for the university and distribute them to the news media. I also post these press releases on our website and Facebook and Twitter for wider reach. I work across all academic disciplines, so I really get a nice working relationship with all of the departments on campus to tell those success stories and highlight the accomplishments of our university. And these range from anthropology to social work and everything in between. You know, think about all the disciplines we have here: biology, business, computer science, education, English, geology, media arts, nursing, and music, to name just a few. And I interview the students, professors, deans, staff, and the administration for these press releases. My writing, it does also help with the town-gown relationship, because we're inviting the community onto our campus for lectures and Arts at HU entertainment and music concerts. So that's an important part of what I do as well. And I work with reporters statewide to increase the positive coverage of Highlands in news outlets like the Albuquerque Journal and the Santa Fe New Mexican and our Albuquerque TV stations. And we have a lot of smaller weekly newspapers in the state and radio stations as well. And then of course I work with our local Las Vegas Optic and KFUN radio primarily. What's really exciting is when there's a press release that goes out on the AP Newswire and makes some national coverage in publications like US News and in World Report. So that's great visibility for Highlands on a broader stage. And my writing supports the university's marketing efforts, but it also supports the university's strategic goal #1 by demonstrating very clearly that Highlands achieves academic excellence, academic integration, and student success. That's in so many of the stories I write. And we also have strategic goals like enhanced communication and being a good community partner, and the writing that I do definitely supports that. So I'm always interested in news tips, and if you have any, please feel free to contact me on email at mmckinney, or give me a call on my cell phone. I'm happy to talk with you at 505-429-2249. So thanks for listening, and are there any questions? Guess not. Okay, back to you, Sean.
Actually, let's go through the staff and things like we have to answer any questions anyone has at the pitch. That we do like to hear student success stories, and those success stories reflect well on you, their faculty. And like Margaret says, she does talk to the faculty members as well. So if you have a student, they don't need to be the ones to cure cancer or any major groundbreaking thing. Just we like featuring student success. So when you see that in your classrooms, you know, take a minute and drop Margaret an email or give her a call, so we can highlight the great things that are going on here. We're also implementing a new software package. This is kind of the PR standard software that will allow us to pitch out our stories to a broader range of media outlets, including media influencers on blogs and others. So we really are planning on extending our reach this year. That being said, I mentioned we also oversee the university's external website. So now I'm going to turn it over to Ann McLaughlin, who is our office's web content manager. She's down in our Santa Fe branch right now. Not the university's branch, just our working at home branch. Anne has been with the university now for a little longer than 2 years, and helped us do a data-driven redesign for the website to help encourage prospective students to apply. And I think in conjunction with everything that our SEM office is doing, we've been able to really move the needle on that. So that being said, Anne, why don't you introduce yourself, talk about a little bit about what you do, how to contact you, and whatever else you want to say.
Because I love doing this so much. You've covered everything, Sean. I'm open for questions. No, I can do better than that. Yeah, I manage the front-facing, public-facing, which is NMHU.edu, and we handle the market and recruit information. So we want to make it as welcoming and exciting as possible, which is why I contact departments and ask you what's going on, what graduates are doing, what videos you have that show in the classroom or field work or anything else like that. What else can I really tell you? Best way to get in touch with us if you need something updated. Sorry?
That's where I was going, is tell everybody how to submit changes to the website.
The web content form, and there's a link in 2 or 3 places on the website itself. Also in my email signature, every time it goes out, you'll see there's a link to request information updates be placed on your pages. I don't know, I love it. I don't know what else I can really add to that. I could probably go on for an hour because I like what I'm doing, but that won't explain too much. So I'm open for questions.
Hey, Anne,
Let's again, let's hold off on any questions until the end. I want to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Sorry,
John?
Veronica.
Oh,
no, if we could, I just thought to introduce everybody real quick.
Perfect.
Please go ahead, Veronica.
I just threw the little link to the content form in the chat.
Cool. You're the best. So, next up on our meet and greet, I'd like to introduce our new graphic designer. Christy has actually been here. I think she had a couple months in the office when she started before we had to all go remote. She's currently working with the recruitment office and strategic enrollment management to do a major lift on the redesign of a lot of our recruiting materials. So with that said, Christy, introduce yourself, please, and give yourself a pat on the back.
Thanks, Sean. So hi, I'm Christy Tucker. I'm the senior graphic designer for Highlands. And so if you're not familiar, graphic design is the visual component of messaging and communication. And so it's my job to create visuals and materials that convey the voice of Highlands and the Highlands messaging brand. So if you need public-facing materials, designs such as brochures, event posters, get in touch with the graphic design team through our online form, which I'm going to put in chat right now. And so the completed form goes into our graphic design project queue. It contains fields that give the design team the necessary information to get started on your project. So please fill out the form completely and thoroughly so there won't be delays in your project. So you might ask, hey, Christy, can we just talk on the phone? Can we do a Zoom about my project? And why do I need to fill out the form? So first of all, we need information in the form because we need to have a written record of your project we need to refer to when we're working on the project. Second, the information goes directly into our system, which saves time on the project. Third, having the information in one place without formatting, which is the way that we need it, including the edited final text to be used in the project, not only saves time, but it reduces errors and misunderstandings about the project. So we can Zoom in addition to receiving the form, but we always need the completed form as well. Additionally, we generally need a minimum of 2 weeks to complete projects, so please plan accordingly. And when possible, we may be able to get projects done sooner, but we just can't guarantee less than 2 weeks, but we're going to do our best to try. So I'm also, as Sean talked about in the beginning, I'm the visual brand steward. So if you have any questions about logos or logo usage, you can ask me. And if you have questions about the form, please reach out to me. So I'm going to put my email address also in chat if you have any questions. And I just want to say thanks, everyone. And I'm really excited to be part of Highlands.
We have a system that goes into a tracking system so we can help expedite projects as quickly as possible without getting things lost in our emails. So we appreciate everyone using the forms. So next up is, in a way, Highlands' newest employee, but one who has been with Highlands for a couple of years. Linda Anderley was our administrative assistant in university relations. And as of August 1st, she has transitioned to community liaison, which was one of Dr. Menner's priorities for this year. So Linda is in charge of building partnerships between the community organizations, for-profit business sector, nonprofits, other educational institutions, and the university. And she is also handling our facility scheduling for external and internal groups. So Linda, with that being said, take it away.
Okay. I actually arrived at Highlands University in 1965. I was a student back in the 60s, and it's absolutely fantastic to be back on the campus as an employee, as a staff member. And I'm very excited about this new position. As Sean said, I'll be planning, developing, implementing, and analyzing our community relations and our campaigns that we work together. But in short, it's just bringing the community onto the campus and taking the campus out into the community. And currently, even with the campus closed and the public not able to come into our buildings, we do have the Geo Bond C campaign that has to get out to the public. So that's something I'll be working on. That will be in the general election in November. The City of Las Vegas has a volunteer initiative that I'm involved with. That's to have cooperation between the nonprofits and the organizations in town, actually almost countywide, people who need volunteers and people who want to volunteer, putting those groups together. And then I have a little bit of piece going on right now with the 100% community, which is the education committee. So those are big things that can be worked on without bringing people on campus. And in the future, a huge project that is coming up, we hope, we know that we have it, but we don't know if we can do it. And that is a conference on campus. The New Mexico Counties Association will be coming back to the campus. They were here, I think, back in 2012. This will use all the facilities on campus and should bring to town, pre-COVID times, 700 to 900 people. Again, the guidelines will say whether or not that conference will take place, but the planning is ongoing and it is huge. It's going to be wonderful. And then I have a list about as long as my arm of a number of other projects that Sean and I have talked about over the last year, and we are going to go forward with the planning, hoping that each one of them can be put on for our community, both communities, the campus as well as the greater community. I do invite you, of course, if you have ideas from other universities or towns that you've lived in, things that Town and Gown has done together, please let me know. And I will put right now my contact information for you in the chat. My email address is landerley, and another piece of the job that Sean mentioned is the facilities rentals. This is something that Campus Life did before, and that has been transferred to me. I was in Campus Life before University Relations, so I'm a little familiar with it. We're in the process of reviewing and revising the policies, procedures, the methods that all of this works. This is like renting the ballroom, the theater, 320, 321, 322. Those are rooms in the Student Union building. So there is a new email address for that. That is hurentals@nmhu.edu. That is how we will handle rentals in the future. We hope to have a form just like Christy and Ann have for web content and design requests, something that you can go online and do it that way and cut out some of the paper. So for the fall term, as far as internal rentals of any of our space for groups or meetings, we're going to have to get permission from the Emergency Operations Center, and we have to follow the governor's COVID-19 guidelines. So I'm pretty sure rentals on the campus internally are going to be rather limited this fall term. That's about it. Stay tuned, to be continued. And there's the
Thanks, Linda.
conversation in your chat.
Great, thank you. I see we're kind of nearing the end of our time. We do have another person in our office that many of you might know, Rick Lafredo. He is the Assistant Director of University Relations. And if you know Rick, he has actually announced his retirement. He will be leaving Highlands on November 1st. To save some budget, we do not plan on replacing him for this fiscal year. But if you talk to Rick and you like working with him, I hope you wish him an enjoyable retirement. I understand he's going to be spending a lot of time doing what he loves and working on his artwork and painting. So we're all very excited for him. And lastly, before I open up to questions, I do want to emphasize that as an office, University Relations is committed to helping you guys promote your work, promote your successes, help you get the word out. But we do need communication. I think a lot of times people have conversations among themselves and forget that we can be a very valuable partner in getting the word out. So any events, great news, anything like that, any changes on the website, please do communicate with us early so we can accommodate you like we like to. So that being said, I know people are probably starting to get hungry for lunch, but I'd like to answer any questions that anybody might have. Everybody is hungry for lunch, apparently.
I bet so.
Or everybody forgot to mute.
Yeah, I know everyone has been accommodating and hanging out with us all this morning. So, but I did have a quick question in regards to, I see that Linda posted the University Relations email. Just kind of, could you review the policy about sending global emails out to the campus?
Thanks, Veronica. Linda, do you want to take that?
I can. We prefer that you send us in advance of your global information. We'd like to know to whom you would like to have it sent to, whether it's just the staff and faculty, or the current students, even centers. We can, do it just to the centers. It needs to be typed in the body of the email. The only time we allow an attachment is when it is a form that a faculty member or a staff member or a student needs to fill out and return. Please send them to University Relations at nmhu.edu. And the reason we use that email is because more than one person monitors it. If Sean were gone and you were sending them to Sean's email at Highlands, we would know it was there in his inbox. Did I get it all, Sean?
You did, thank you. And one of the things I'd like to add is with the introduction of the portal, the employee and student login, is we've reduced the amount of global emails that have gone out for various smaller events on campus. Those who've been here for a while know that we've received our fair share of Navajo taco sales and other events that go out on globals. those will actually be referred over to the global. There's a social function on the portal that those will be added to instead of sending them out globally. So, and if you do send it to us, we'll work with you to get those over to the portal and up with that. So.
Sean, we didn't
Yes.
actually comment much on our part of the social media, and
Oh, thank you.
that's something that we could do on Facebook if you're having an event and it's a photo poster. It has to be a photo, JPEG. That can be put on Facebook for you. So keep that in mind, and that would come at this point to either me personally or Sean, and then we can get those things put on Facebook for you.
No, thanks for bringing that up. I did fail to mention that University Relations oversees the institution's Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter. I forgot what other channels that we monitor through various people, but we're happy to push stuff out for you on those channels as well. Any other questions? I'm seeing a lot of names, so that means everybody's started lunch already and they just turn their cameras off and they're eating.
I want to jump in with something actually that might clarify what we handle, and the portal is actually not by University Relations. I've had a few requests this week to update on Brightspace. Actually needs to be handled by ITS. So if you need anything updated on the portal side, call the help desk or email the help desk and know what you need. That'll save you some time.
Thanks, Ann. Anybody else? Going once? Going twice? Again, for all the faculty, I wish you all a really fulfilling new semester. I know we've all got our challenges. This semester will be unlike every semester ever conducted since 1918, I believe. And you guys just do amazing work, and we love hearing about the students that you inspire, the contributions to the world of knowledge that you make. So please feel free to share any of those with us. And with that being said, I will stop. I will let Veronica have her egg salad.
I know. Egg salad is my favorite.
And stop. I'll stop chattering out at everybody. But please do feel free to contact us. We will do everything within our power to help you or direct you to the appropriate help. So thank you, and let's have a great semester together.
Awesome. Thank you so much, University Relations. Thank you, Sean, Ann, Linda, Margaret, Rick, Christy. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out with us this morning. We are going into our lunch break, and so get up, stretch, eat. I might now go and make some egg salad now that I'm craving it. We have our sessions beginning at 1, starting with design tips for online student engagement with Patrick, Dr. Wilson, and Patricia. And we also will have at the same time the starting of our online training. There is some conflict in that. I know you might want to head up the online training, but the student engagement is also relevant to you. So we will be recording both sessions, and both sessions will be on our website. So you'll be able to still be able to watch those and participate in that. Morgan, you're asking for the sessions, the links for the next session. I'm going to share with the group the digital program, and the links are in there. Hopefully that's helpful. If you have any issues, let me know. With that, I don't want to keep you any longer. Go and have some good lunch, and See you back here at 1. Bye.